Hello and welcome everyone in the classroom of Punya Study Circle. Dear students, in this lecture we are going to learn about the second function of management, that is going to be organizing. Once we are done with the first function of management, that is called planning, that means we are determining what is to be done, when it is to be done, where it is to be done, how it is to be done and by whom it is to be done. We need to develop a mechanism that will help us in implementing that entire paperwork which we have performed during the stage of planning or function of planning. That is why now we are going to learn about the process of devising organization structure, the features and importance of that organization structure which help management in attainment of its objective. So very first, meaning of organizing as well as organization. Organizing can be defined as a process of determining the quantum of activities that is to be performed under each post, the nature of activities that are to be performed in each department and the quantum of workload that is to be discharged by organization as a whole for attainment of its objective, besides devising or developing a relationship pattern or subordinate superior relationship in order to enable all those who are working in the organization to discharge their work assignment in an effective and efficient manner. Whereas the result of this organizing process is called organization structure. You may call it the structure of relationship among various posts and positions depicting flow of authority, responsibility, communication and the scope of decision making at each level of management. How different scholars have defined organizing and organization. Let's see. Lewis Henry. He said harmonious arrangement of specialized parts for accomplishment of some common objective. That means whatever quantification we have made in terms of department, if we arrange them in a logical order, in a harmonious order, so that their work can be more correlated with the adjacent department, which make their works being performed in an effective and efficient manner, is called organizing. How Heyman has defined, he said, structural framework within which individual efforts are coordinated and departmental efforts are interrelated with each other. That means determining quantum of task being performed in each post, and then we need to arrange all the departmental or the nature specific units in a logical order to make their work performance more effective, more beautiful and more fruitful. Then Macfarlane said organization is the identifiable group of persons who are contributing towards their efforts towards attainment of some common goal. Let's learn about the features and importance of organization as well. Here we are having features: division of work, coordination, plurality of persons, common objectives and machine of management. Very first, division of work. Very first, organization decide what are the activities that are required to perform for attainment of objective. Then these activities are very first divided into small units of work called post. Then similar nature of post, that means the posts which are having same kind of job, are grouped into units called departmentalization in order to avail of the advantage of specialization both at the level of post and at the level of department. So very first feature of organization is very first we need to divide the work, and then we need to group all units of work that are similar in nature called departmentalization. Then these units of work which are having same nature of post are coordinated or interrelated in an adjacent pattern so that they can discharge their work responsibility in an effective fashion, in that manner which is more logical to them, which save time and cost. Both called coordination involves as a part of organizing process. We have to establish a logical pattern in establishment of or locating different department. Then comes plurality of person. It means a single person is never being called as organization. It is a group of persons who are working together called organization, and this group of persons must have common objective in order to call or get called itself as an organization. Otherwise it may also be called as a mob, a protest. So it will be called organization when they are having common objective, common goal, common target towards which they are coordinating their individual efforts through departmental units. Then common objectives and machine of management. It is that mechanism which enable, empower management to do that what they want to do and what they want to get. Through this mechanism only the organization or management can attain their goals, because efforts are quite coordinated and cooperation can be secured only when they are having role and goal clarity, besides the quantum of authority and responsibility they possess in their particular post. Then we should also have a look to the importance, benefit of specialization. Here I have already told, benefit of specialization is made available through process of organizing both at the level of post and at the level of department. If an individual is doing a small piece of work again and again over the period of time, he will be more professional in doing that work. He can do that at minimum time with minimum cost. That is called specialization. And when he sees the same nature of different tasks are being performed around him, he will also gain some knowledge about that. After some time, what will the departmental manager will decide about him, that he should be transferred to some other post, so that he can learn about that portfolio of work which is related to him or of same type, so that he can be promoted in the future if he is a loyal and competent employee. Clarity of the working relationship. Whatever pattern of relationship we are establishing or whatever line authority we are establishing, it make quite clear to each and every post, to each and every level of the management, that what quantum of authority and responsibility are being possessed by them, from whom they have to receive order, to whom they have to give order, to whom they are answerable, and who are those are answerable to him. It means the goal is clear, the role is clear, no confusion, simple, focus at work and discharge of performance. Optimal utilization of resources. Every year in the beginning, we make planning. In planning, the workload of not only different posts but also different departments are fixed. According to this fixed workload, we have to allocate resources to each and every department, so which help us or enable us in optimal utilization of resources. If targets have received increased, then allocation of resources should also be increased. The next thing is their adaptation of change. You know what? If we are not having a relationship structure, we have not divided the work and arranged in a logical order. In that case, if any change going to happen in external or in internal environment, we will be just get confused and we will have to introduce it at the organization level, which will cause wastage of resources and time. If we want to save our resources, we need to identify the change, whether it is related to the production department, sales department, HR department, or it is going to have a change in the corporate strategy as a whole. And accordingly, we can make effort. We can make that unit only adaptive, which is related to or mostly related to that kind of change. We need not to introduce that change at the corporate level. Okay. The next thing is that development of the personnel. That means how dividing work, arranging them in logical order, facilitate management in development of skill and abilities of their manpower. Through transfer, through promotion, we can retain those workers who are more competent, who want to undertake more responsibilities, who keep seeking responsibilities and opportunities where they can show their talent, they can actualize their self-potential. So, by rotating them, by transferring them, by promoting them, we give them opportunity to develop their personal skill, and this is only because of organizing and organization structure. Finally, facilitate expansion and diversification and growth. If we want to establish more business unit in different cities, in different countries, we want to start different kind of manufacturing. In that case, we need to have those employees who are experienced, and not only experienced, they are also loyal to our organization. And who will be more loyal? Those who have spent more time with us. That is why organization structure enable us to retain those workers who are hardworking through promotion, transfer and enrichment of their jobs. This manpower can be used for expansion, for diversification, for handling growth in the business operation of business entity. This is all about today's lecture. In our next lecture, we will be learning about organizing process and difference between formal and informal structure of organization. Till then, have a good time, goodbye, but stay safe and stay home.